Hey guys, it's Anthony David Adams with Detention Slipped Upward. We are on a field trip here. It's in New York City, and we are at Urban Word, NYC. We're here with the executive director, Michael Cirelli, and we're just gonna dive right in. He's gonna tell us a bit about the organization, and thanks so much for having us.
Thanks a lot.
This is great. Yeah. So why don't you just dive right in?
Dive right in.
Tell us about Urban Word, New York City.
Urban Word, we basically provide free after-school writing programs and performance opportunities for teenagers. We're pretty much one of the nation's leading organizations for literary arts, spoken word, and hip-hop performance, and we also have a thriving college prep program. We run the annual New York City Teen Poetry Slam,
Which is awesome.
which is great.
I got a chance to check it out this past year. It was amazing.
Yeah, and the team that actually got picked for that slam in New York went to the National Slam and just recently won the Nationals in Los Angeles, so that was really cool.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So it's really all about providing a platform for voice for young people, sort of in a culture and also an educational system that doesn't really prioritize their own voices and experiences. So we're really about putting the youth voice on the front lines.
Amazing. And you just had some kind of big victory, big award you're doing some stuff with HBO. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, HBO did a special 2 years ago, and it was so popular that they followed up this year. And so they basically filmed the National Poetry Slam in Los Angeles. So it was great to make it to the finals, and then also a bonus that HBO happened to be there at the finals and kind of captured us, winning the National Slam, which is, for us, we try to de-emphasize the competition, but it's always nice to
win trophies.
Yeah, to be that, the work really reflected our values, very powerful poems that made it to that final stage, so it was nice that they won.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And so I think actually one of the best ways to maybe show what you do is to introduce Akifa, right?
Yes.
And you're going to do a poem for us.
Yes.
Okay, so we're just going to turn it over to you and you can go. Look at our fans and out there and the internets.
Okay, so this poem is called Prayer. The freaks come out at night, lurk in the arc entrance of apartment buildings and melt into church gates during the day. I pray, Father who art in heaven, evil be their philosophies, of froward browed be they in numbers. Lead them not to believe I am your son. I am the moon, let me reflect your light, and I know these men are drunk. Baffled by your glory, your moonshine, they scheme sometimes to turn the moon into men. Out of the shame of their dullness and the dullness in their actions, for the craters they left on us, the ugly blues they left in our black backs, they dub us ugly black girls and as angry black women or as men. When they present us to their kids and kids, but my God, the moon be not man, the moon be mother. Who else can love men of their kind unconditionally enough to shine light in the darkest alleyways of heart? I hold him in my heart, I hold hymns in my heart, and my breath in my chest, and my prayers I release in my tongue behind 32 white bars. They think I think I'm too good for them, but I'm not good for them. I'm good for God, for God is good and good to me, but I have observed. For good is already good, it does good for the bad. I'm shaken, I don't want to be taken, I don't want to be a good little sacrifice. They went off in my head, they were in my head. The eyes are drills, they scream at me, they tell me my stride is like a siren, like fire. They wish to engulf the Kalakuta Republic in the sway of my hips, the gateway arch in my back, the eastward and westward expansion of my collarbone and bosom, but I am barely woman. I pray that you take them, the punctured chalices that they are, and fill their cups, Lord. Make them whole, because demons are the desolate hands begging for change, growing when no one is willing to look them in the eyes.
Wow. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was incredible. I had no idea that was going to be happening. That was awesome. So I think thank you again so much. And Michael, maybe you could talk a bit about just the importance. I know you're doing a lot of stuff with curriculum, and actually, I know you do a lot of work outside the school space. A lot of kids come here after school, but you're also doing a lot of things integrating poetry with curriculum. So if you can speak to the importance of that and share that.
Definitely. Aside from our after-school programs, we work with over 130 New York City public schools. So we really integrate the curriculum work that happens here into the classroom. And poetry in the curriculum is really important, and everybody acknowledges and recognizes poetry as one of the oldest literary forms in our canon. But for us too, we take it one step further and integrate spoken word, which is, you know, the oral aspect of the tradition, which you just saw Akifa do what some would consider a spoken word poem, which is also a poem on the page that works well too. And then also even extending that into hip hop, into social justice, into you know, work that can address issues that are going on in folks' communities, just like the poem we heard. So in terms of curriculum, it's just a great platform to get young people to open up, and then to also connect that to English language arts, to connect it to anything, history, science, math. You can really take the arts and build bridges to other subject areas, and that's really what we're trying to do. You know, and through the voice and through the development and the championing of youth voice, that builds the platform for young people to kind of, you know, excel academically in other areas, and we've seen that happen day in and day out in our organization, which is great. You know, 98% of our students go on to college. We give
98%?
Yeah, 98%.
That's incredible.
Yeah, $350,000 a year we give away in scholarship money. So just as much as the arts are a focal point of our organization, academic achievement is married to that.
Yeah.
In a way that we make it fun, accessible, and really transformative. You know what I mean? Obviously, the poems that are coming out of here are pieces that are based on a young person having a transformative experience in their life and personal development. So, you know, as much as we call ourselves a literacy organization, we're just as much as a youth development organization, developing the whole person, not just the arts, not just going to college, but really integrating how somebody can evolve as a good person and take the skills that they learn there to kind of thrive in the world.
It's really remarkable, and it sounds like this is something that it's not just about the poetry. I mean, there's really this multifaceted development that takes place, and you're developing personality, you're developing public speaking ability, and there's a whole bunch of other benefits that come from it.
Sure.
And I know that Urban Word New York City is obviously based here in the New York metro area, but for folks that maybe are interested in, maybe we have people from all over the world that watch our show, watch through the blog. If there are teachers or folks in other educators around the country that want to start integrating curriculum, poetry to the curriculum, you actually have a really cool product that's out. Can you talk a little bit about that and how folks can get in touch with that?
Sure. It's called the Poetry Jam, and it's in a really incredible curriculum because it basically marries the decade plus of work that we've done here, which is really grassroots work with young people, with all of the kind of proven, technologically advanced, culturally relevant curricula that's out there in terms of in the schools. So I co-authored the curriculum with the California Teacher of the Year, Alex Tomer, and it really combines how to create a student-centered environment and poetic curriculum that is relevant to them, with also aligning it to the standards, also making it 21st century, because we live in a 21st century society, so really taking advantage of the multiple technologies that are out there, and also accounting for the changing and evolving demographics in our country. So the work is really culturally relevant with the types of poets that we use, while also connecting to the classics. So it's really, I mean, for me, it's one of the most fully inclusive poetry curriculums that I think has ever been created, because you have everything from Shakespeare and Whitman and Wordsworth, and then you transition that into the Maya Angelos and the Langston Hughes, and then you go one step further and include international poets like Pablo Neruda and Chinua Achebe, and then you take all the classical forms like sonnets and sestinas and villanelles and all the literary devices and tap into text message poems and Twitter poems and Facebook poems.
There's text message poem?
Yeah, there's a text message poem in the book. So it's really trying to say, you know, what you're doing is important and valid. Check this stuff out too. Check out the classic curriculum and make it all come together in a way that is fun and accessible and really will hold their interest, instead of kind of force feeding them the canon we really make the canon fun and accessible by integrating all the things that young people are into. And luckily we know about that. Our partner Alan, the teacher, knows about what teachers need, so it's really friendly for teachers to use. You can just go into the classroom and just start using it, and the results are pretty amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And if folks want to connect with that, they're going to bookjam.com.
Bookjam.com, which is a great project that basically makes reading and literacy more fun and accessible by creating curriculums around many types of books, a lot of fiction, but I was lucky enough to do the poetry because that's our passion here.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, Michael and Akiva, thank you so much for your time. This has been great. I'm going to one last question. Is there, of course, this for adults? I'm going to call my phone, I'm going to text message home, text message welcome home, or to develop my poetry ability.
Well, what we do have, we can work something out. What we actually do is, just as much as we're dedicated to developing communities around young people, we're just as passionate about developing communities of teachers. So we host a week-long training at the University of Wisconsin-Madison every summer.
That's really my grad work,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Great school, great education program. So, and they're very cutting edge. So we come in and do a whole week around spoken word, poetry, and hip hop education.
Okay.
And then
I think I've been to that.
Yes.
Living in Madison, actually, I checked. That's what was you guys.
Yeah, that was us. Yeah, we're the hosts. Yeah, so we do that in the summers, and then every fall we do a training at New York University that teachers come from around the country as well. So
amazing.
The tools are there for the teachers, to provide the resources for the teenagers, and then it keeps developing and evolving, and maybe the next curriculum will have to do 3D hologram, poetic curriculum. Who knows? But that's where we want to be, in the front lines of all that work. So it's a great opportunity and a great project.
I love it. So check it out at bookjam.com, and if you're not using poetry in the classroom right now, you're in the dark ages, so get up to speed with it. Thanks again to Anthony David Adams with Intention Slip, here with Michael Cirelli and Akiva. Nice to meet you guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Have a great day. Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. I think we're just in time, right?
I was like, oh, camera.
Oh, you were great.
Yeah, you were good. This is